If you happen to be in Iowa this week, you can catch a satanic altar put up on display at the Iowa State Capitol. This was put up by the Satanic Temple. The co-founder of the Satanic Temple says this is a symbol of the Satanists' right to religious freedom. Of course, Satanism is not entitled to any rights whatsoever, and the Founding Fathers certainly wouldn't have thought so, and no one, even the great defenders of religious freedom, not so long ago would have ever defended this, but this is now what religious freedom is taken to mean, that you can have a symbol of Baphomet or the devil on display, and you have a right to that in a government building. The founder of the Satanic Temple says, we're going to really relish the opportunity to be represented in a public forum. We don't have a church on every street corner. My feeling is that if people don't like our display in public forums, they don't have to engage with them. They don't have to view them. Okay, if you're a normal person, you probably have a problem with this. Now, some of you might not. Some of you might say, oh, whatever, it's dumb, it's silly. The Satanic Temple, they're just a bunch of edgy Reddit tier atheists anyway. Who cares what they want to do? I don't like it. I don't want my country to exalt satanic symbols. I think that's bad. I don't want shrines to Satan in my government buildings. I think that's a bad thing to do and doesn't speak very well of our country. And I want it out, and I want to ban it. And this would not be a new ban. This would be reinstating a ban that existed for the entire history of our country until approximately 5 minutes ago. I think that would be good. I think that would be normal and American and right. Now, you might look at that and say, well, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. I don't like it. It seems wrong, but hey, religious freedom, right? So then you got to ask the question. If you know this is wrong, but the premises that you have about religion and politics lead you to saying that this is fine, how do you reconcile those things? One of them is it can't simultaneously be good and bad. So which is it? How do you reconcile your natural opposition to Satan statues in our state capitals with religious freedom? You can either say, yeah, bring it on. Bring on the satanic altars. Let's put them in all of our state capitals. Let's bring them to Washington, D.C. You can either say that, most of you probably won't think that, or you can totally throw out religious freedom, which some of you might want to do, but it's probably not very practical in America. Or there is a third option. The third option is you can circumscribe what religious freedom means, not merely on your own preferences or a naked political power grab, but you can set limits on what religious freedom means through tradition, informed by reason. You don't need to just pluck it out of thin air or have it be a matter of your own preferences. You can say, look, here's what religious freedom has always meant in America. It's never included opposition to God. It's never included, it's included broad religious toleration for different people who worship God in different ways, but it's never included opposition to God or outright denial of God. That was just really never part of it. And so we're not going to allow that. No Satanists, no atheist altars, none of that. We can have a broad amount of religious toleration without saying that you have a freedom from religion or freedom to worship the devil in the state capitol. That's what you can do. Libs should love this. Libs love saying that no right is absolute until they want their Satan statues in the state capitol. Then all of a sudden the rights are absolute. Your First Amendment right's not absolute when you want to talk on a college campus and you're a conservative. Your First Amendment right's not absolute when you want access to the public square on social media to say your conservative points of view. Your Second Amendment right, that's never absolute. You're only allowed to have a musket. You're this right, you're that right. But the supposed right never really articulated in American jurisprudence or political philosophy to have a Satan statue. That's the one that is absolute. No, of course not. Of course not. I don't think that the Satan statue falls under any serious conception of freedom or religion. Religion is a habit of virtue that inclines the will to give to God what he deserves. But even if you do, even if you're a little confused on what freedom and religion mean, how about we just avail ourselves of history and reason and tradition? That's what tradition's about. It's not about just blindly giving up your own ability to think and have your own opinions. It's just allowing your opinion to be informed by every other smart person who ever lived. Don't you think maybe there's a chance that every other smart human being who ever lived for all of history might be able to teach you something that you haven't just figured all of it out better than all of the other smart people? Well, there it is. Welcome to traditionalism. There it is. Well, you're a conservative. Wonderful, wonderful to have you. We got to talk about these things. When you want to talk, you got to check out Pure Talk. Right now, go to puretalk.com/Knowles. Pure Talk has you covered for the holidays with a free Moto G5G phone. No gimmicks or trade-in necessary. Just sign up for Pure Talk's unlimited talk, unlimited text, and 15 gigs of data. You can get all of this for just $35, and you will get the Moto G 5G phone for free. You need to move fast because these phones are almost gone. So if your current phone is on life support, upgrade for free with Pure Talk. The new Moto G 5G phone boasts a 2-day battery life, an exceptional quad-pixel camera, and a whole lot more. Pure Talk gives you America's most dependable 5G network at half the price, so make the switch today. Go to puretalk.com/Knowles, KNWLES, to get this exclusive offer and select the plan that is right for your family. Pure Talk gives you America's most dependable 5G network at half the price. Make the switch today. That is puretalk.com/Knowles, KNWLES, to claim your free Moto G 5G phone with a qualifying plan. Pure Talk, put simply, is smarter wireless. Head on over there right now. These guys have been great, supported the show. They give you the best network out there. Head on over to Pure Talk today. Unfortunately, there's a state representative in Iowa, Representative John Dunwell, who seems like he means well, but you can see him grappling with this conflict between we don't want to worship the devil in our government buildings, but, we got religious freedom, and he doesn't seem to figure it out. So he has this very, very long post about it on social media, and he vacillates. He says, well, as a follower of Christ, I think this, but as a state representative, I think this, but as a follower of Christ, I think this, and it's so long, I didn't even read the whole thing because he's just twisting himself into knots. The first error is to think that you can actually separate yourself into little compartments. You can't. You can recognize that you have certain duties and certain circumstances, but to suggest that you are multiple different people and you can totally divorce your moral views from your political life is just completely insane. Politics is how we all get along together, and all laws legislate morality. So here's what he says. He says, my response to the Satan statue as a follower of Christ, my response as a state representative, my observations and response as an Iowan state representative and pastor. As a follower of Christ, I certainly find a display from the Satanic Temple objectionable. It stands in direct opposition to my faith and would be classified as evil. Not a new experience for me or my family. The Word of God continually warns about the dangers in our world. In fairness, many other religions or non-religious people have the same perspective about Christianity. Put a pause right there. Yeah, they do. They're wrong. They're wrong. You say X is good, Y is evil. Other people say Y is good, X is evil. One of you is right, and you can't just shrug your shoulders. One of you has to be right because you're going to live together and you're going to enshrine good things in the law and you're going to prohibit bad things in the law too. That's what law does. So you can't just say, well, look, my perspective, right. Where does your perspective come from? Is it completely uninformed? It's just a reflex of your mind, a contortion, a gesticulation. It's not informed by reason. No, it's informed by reason. You think it's true. And so you're going to broadly follow that. Yeah, it's a good idea. It says, my observation as an Iowan and a state representative, I don't want the state evaluating and making determinations about religions. I'm guided by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. First of all, are you? I don't know. The First Amendment was never understood to enshrine Satanism. So I'm not sure that you are. You're enshrined by a liberal revisionist view of the First Amendment. But even here's a more basic question to Representative Dunwell, and I don't mean to single him out. A lot of people think like this. Are you a Christian first or a liberal first? I mean a lowercase L liberal. I mean the classical liberal. I mean whatever good kind of liberal you can think of. What are you first? Are you a Christian or that? Do you serve God first or do you serve some political ideology called liberalism? Which is it? When they come into conflict. Man cannot serve two masters. Which is it? Not hard for me. I talk to Christians. I talk to religious Jews. I talk to Muslims. There's broad agreement, I think, among people on broadly how to serve God in public life and how to have a good society. I don't think the same can be said of liberal. Look what liberalism's done. It's alienated people from their society. It's led to a kind of skepticism where even a guy who calls himself a Christian pastor says, well, I don't know, some people think Christianity's evil, so the state needs to lay off it. I mean, this is a politician. Very sad. Very, very sad. I've heard liberalism described, a liberal is one who cannot take his own side in an argument. Bill Buckley said it very well. He said, skepticism has utility only when it leads to conviction. So what's the conviction? What do we believe? What is it? What do you actually believe? Man, what a great clip that was now. Hold up. Hey, hold up. Ring that bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles podcast. We'll see you next time.